Coach, I was thinking coming over, man, what a great day for Coach now, because it's bright lights and everything is on you right now. What are your inner feelings right now as you are indeed the head man and you've gotten a head job real quick?
You feel responsibility. I think you're just so thankful for the people that believed in you. You think about all the people before today that helped you get here. I think that's what's so special about a day like today. And then I think in that same breath, you have such a special responsibility moving forward. And you're so excited to compete. You're so excited, to get to work with all the special people that you're going to have a chance to be in touch with every single day. And I think, what makes the NFL special are the people in it. And I can't wait to meet all the people with the Chargers.
You know how many people are surprised that you are the head guy?
I would say a whole bunch. I know that, but I think the people that know me well, they're the ones who aren't surprised. And I think, what I'm excited to do is just to prove myself. And I think that that's what the NFL represents, is trying to earn it, to prove it, to earn people's trust and respect. And I'm excited to do that.
To me, trust is the most important thing to have. If you have someone's trust, then you're on the right path already.
The NFL, what makes it, so unique is how difficult it is. And I think for the men and the women who are in the NFL, it doesn't matter if you're a player, coach, staff, whomever, it's how competitive it is. And I think you share that respect for that reality is how competitive it is. And I think it brings you together. And I think, I'm so excited to meet the people with the Chargers and to learn and to listen to them so that we can go accomplish, all the things that we're trying to accomplish.
I can tell there's this sense of excitement. You can hardly wait to get started.
Yeah. I saw Derwin James today, and the reason why they call you coach is because you're players, and I think, I draw the most strength from our guys, and being able to meet Derwin and have him see my wife and my 3 boys and knowing that, hey man, this is the guy I'm going to be able to get to coach, and being able to FaceTime with Justin Herbert on my way down here. And I've reached out to so many of our players on the team, former Chargers, and I think that's what gives you strength is, these are the guys, that you get to lead, and there's so much that comes with that, but more than anything, just excitement, because, the people are what makes, the NFL special.
You got some players here. You just talked about Justin Herbert. This young man can do it.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to establish yourself at that position, especially in your first year. And I think for him to express his talent to the NFL his first year and how he did it in a global pandemic with no offseason, no training camp, no preseason, to do that just, I think, shows you what his makeup is and what's inside of him. And as you know, being a franchise quarterback, it's a lot more what's under the hood than outside the hood. And I think when you're made up of all the right stuff, you have a chance to take it a long way. And then obviously he has the physical talent that few have. And I just can't wait to connect and start to work together.
I was talking to Sean McVay. He says you're like a sponge. You just soaked up everything that you could get. And it's really amazing what you have learned there with the Rams and how it will help you here.
Yeah, I think Sean's a special leader. He's got high character, high capacity. He's got command of all 3 phases of the game, personnel, how to bring a building together. Those are real strengths of his. And I think being with him for a year and under the circumstances of this year, very challenging for every head coach in the National Football League to go through this pandemic and, circumstances that have never been, taken on. And I think I learned so much from him and his leadership, being steady, calm, composed, figuring things out day to day and really setting the standard each and every day. And I'm so grateful for him.
And also the glass is always half empty. I mean, it's always half full, not half empty.
Yeah, I think you have to be that way. I've been through so much in my personal life, and a lot of people talk about my journey to the NFL. Just personally, you just realize that, there's a tougher side of life, and as competitive as the NFL is, there's a lot going on in this world that is far more difficult than playing NFL football. And I think you have to have that perspective in order to take the people that you're with as far as they can go, because without perspective, you get out of balance. And where you can take people the furthest is when you have that balance of urgency and enjoyment, and we're certainly going to try and embody that.
You talked about some of the things that you have gone through. What are some of the things that you have gone through that were maybe negative that you can benefit from today?
Well, I think starting with, I was a cancer patient. My family, my mom, my dad, they both had it. My mom passed away. I saw a lot of the tougher side of life growing up. And, the resilience, the toughness that you have to have. And everybody's got a circumstance like that. I think that, adversity is adversity no matter what type it is. And I think that, the best people in this world are the people that can overcome it and thrive, during it. And I think coming on the other side of it, it gave me a lot of strength. I felt like I could, be an example for people to look at and say, hey, I can do that someday. And I feel like a great responsibility for that. And I'm hoping that me being here in this role can inspire a lot of young people to know that they can do it someday.
Because no one can go through this journey we call life unscathed.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never take it as far as you can if you haven't endured something difficult. And I think what that is different for everybody, but you know it when you see it. And, I think that the people that have a journey that's been really challenging, it can explain how they ended up ultimately where they were hoping to go. And I think in my life, that's certainly an example. And I'm just at the beginning of my life. There's going to be more things that come my way that are really, really difficult. And you have to be able to, handle all of that with grace, learn from it, and being able to thrive after it.
And as far as sports and life is concerned, one can learn from the other, or one can be a metaphor for the other.
Yeah, definitely. And I think so many of the things that, that happen off the field with a player or, a coach can help them while they're playing. And there's just a larger world, and I think we've seen it really within the last year. There's a big world out there, and there's a lot happening in it. And I think that the more balance you have, the more that you'll be an effective, competitor, within a football building. And I think that that's something that hopefully, we're able to bring to the table here.
Is there something to the trend that we're seeing now in the NFL where the coaches are younger and younger?
I think that it's not uncommon to the NFL to have had young coaches, like even when you trace back 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Like I think there have been young people that have been successful in a lot of different professions, but I think something that maybe is, unique now is the amount of information that's accessible to people. And I think that, you can improve your game a lot easier at a younger age because you have more access to information. And I think, I think what you're seeing in the NFL is, I think there's people that are taking advantage of opportunities at a young age that are being able to learn, grow, and that experience that people talk about, they're acquiring it faster. And they're acquiring the skills necessary to be good at whatever chosen path that they're headed towards. And I think in the NFL, it's no different.
You're probably not much older than a lot of the guys on your club.
Oh, yeah.
So there is this mutual admiration society that can develop here because you can tell them, hey, listen, it wasn't that long ago. I know exactly what you've been going through.
Yeah, I think it's an advantage. I think that there's guys that are twice my age, though, that certainly act a lot younger, too. I think, but being more current, I think, is always an advantage. I think no matter what age you are, you being able to stay current, with the modern player, I think that that's so important. So whether you're 38 or 58, 68, you being current with the modern player, and what he's going through. I think that you having that understanding and that empathy to what they go through on a day-to-day basis, I think it connects you and it makes them know that, hey, there's a relationship here that I can believe in because he understands me, and I think it's vital to your success.
Is there a saying or a slogan or a thought that you like to try to operate and go by? Because when you go through a lot of NFL locker rooms, there's all these sayings all over the walls. Is there one that really sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think be everything you want your teammates to be. I think that's something that I've always tried to live by. If you embody what you would want in a teammate, then you're off to a good start. And I think that if you put yourself in that sort of light that what you're doing affects other people, then you're going to take your role more seriously. And so I think that's one of my favorite sayings to players and coaches, personnel, is be everything you want your teammates to be. I'm certainly hoping to embody that.
What were the sessions like with you and the Chargers as far as you trying to convince them or them trying to convince you that this was the right spot for you?
I think the process was really collaborative. I thought there was a lot of give and take. There was a lot of listening and learning on both sides. And I thought that that's ultimately where we connected, was just being able to learn about each other and trying to, build a foundation. And then once that foundation was built, really within that interview process, then get to the specifics. And I really enjoyed that part of it. It's what made me feel so comfortable and confident because I felt like there was a really good foundation of a relationship. And then the ultimate specifics of the vision and the mission, those both aligned.
Because you knew when you came here deep down in your heart, it wouldn't be long before you would be sitting in the head chair.
I had a lot of confidence in myself. I have a lot of belief in what I'm capable of, because I know how hard that I've invested in my craft and in my game to be good in this role. And so I think that when I came down here, I was excited to compete and I was excited to express myself. And I think that once I got into that arena, I felt full confidence that I could do this.
There's this word we go back, trust, that we talked about before. How do you earn your team's trust, or how do they earn yours?
I think you need to be the same guy every day. I think consistency is how you earn trust, being the same person, good times and bad times, middle times, being consistent. Whatever that is, whatever your personality is, being that same person. And I think that the other part of trust is you got to work on it every day. It can't be absent for a day or two. It can't be absent for a week or two. You got to work at it every day. And I think that that's what people in this world respect, is that when you're genuinely invested in other people. And that's something that means a lot to me.
How much did you know about the Chargers before you became the head coach? Because I know you were busy with the Rams.
Well, I certainly knew about the history. I think growing up just in my era, you just know about all the great players, Phillip, LT, Antonio Gates, Merriman, just Rodney Harrison, all these great players that I kind of grew up, watching. And I knew how much success there had been. And I think that history of the team and being a successful team, being a championship contender type team, I think that always stood out to me. But then, being in LA, being in the same city, I think you just saw the great opportunity that's here. You have this great history of the team, but now there's this new possibility of being here in this city and try to engage the past and the present to move forward, to create something special. And I felt like we have a unique opportunity here.
And then there's the pandemic that's going around. So there is the issue of trying to get through, maneuvering your way through that. And then as we get to the season, when you hope that there will be fans in the stadium, which is a fabulous place, then will there be any extra pressure on you and your club to succeed immediately?
I don't think so. I think the that pressure word, I think that only happens if you haven't been putting in the work. And I think if you're steady, if you're committed to maximizing each and every single day and living up to your mission statement, I think that all those things on the field will express themselves. But I think it's more about that commitment to each and every day maximizing your opportunity to improve. And I think that's what makes the NFL unique is that commitment to excellence each and every day, because it is so challenging. And then when we get in front of our fans, hopefully, we give them access to our journey to the season. And by giving them access to, how we do things, how we operate, our people, their stories, hopefully they can feel connected before we even get on the field. And then when we get on the field and they can actually see it in person, it'll bring even more to life.
Because I always say that this city, Los Angeles, really is the sports capital of the world. And in order to not only compete here, but to draw fans and stuff like that, you have to be not only good on the field and in the community. And I know how Dean is about being involved in the community, and I know you believe in that wholeheartedly as well.
Yeah, you got to, what I like to say to these people is, that in the interview process is that everything in your building is engineered for your players, and then everything outside the building is engineered for your fans. And I think what fans want is they want access to the people that make the NFL special, because it's a lot more than just Derwin James being a great player, or Justin Herbert or Joey Bosa. They want to know about them as people too. And I think that as athletes, as competitors, you have this special opportunity to compete on the field in front of this huge audience, but then you also have this captive audience off the field that they're just as interested in. And I think to be able to use your platform in a positive way for whatever it is you're interested in, you have to take advantage of it. And what better place to do that than one of the best cities in the world? One of the most progressive cities in the world, a growing, place that truly embodies what this world's all about.
So you know how lucky you are.
I do. Yeah, I do. And I think that's why my family and I are so excited, because if you're a competitor, you want to go where the action is. You don't run from the action. You go run to the action. And, to me, Los Angeles is where the action is.